What up, Stackers? BigstackMcgee here. How are you doing today? Happy Friday. It's Friday afternoon and blazing hot where I'm at, and a perfect time to unpackage a silver bar. Looking forward to tearing into this piece here in just a little bit. But right now, the big news, of course, all the price actions in silver and gold. It's been incredible for someone like me that's been stacking for almost 8 years. It's excellent to see the values trending higher. Just going to talk a little bit about my plan regarding where the values are at. No, I'm not going to immediately sell a bunch of metals. I will be most likely storing up a bunch of dry powder to be able to buy when the inevitable pullback happens. And hopefully there's still good amount of product around to be grabbed up. And so I'm pouncing when that opportunity happens. In fact, this particular order, I ordered this in April, back when silver was at around $15 an ounce, and there was a extended wait time for it, they said, when I purchased it. It was not delivered till mid-June. And speaking of that, like spot price was around $15 or so, and I think at the time, due to the, call it a supply shortage or whatever, premiums were pretty high. So I had to pay $3 an ounce over spot price for this particular piece. And in retrospect now, with silver being the high 22s, pretty happy to be able to get this. But I fully expect a pullback of sorts sometime in the next couple of months. But I think what you're seeing is a true indication of the value of the U.S. dollar is being recognized for where it probably should be. Having said that, I am not an economist, and I don't understand why there can be such a disparity between the value of the U.S. dollar compared to other things, and then the value of our stock market, and then, of course, the massive federal debt that our nation has, and is about to go even further with what appears to be a second round of stimulus. I think about, with great trepidation, this idea of the federal deficit, or the debt in general. And of course we have budget deficits, but like, we have decades of people worrying about overspending and of not being able to honor the liabilities that our country has. I will never forget, I'm sure I've mentioned this before, but when I was in first grade, it was either first grade or second grade, 1981, 82, somewhere around there. I remember we used to get something called the Weekly Reader from Scholastica. And it was just like a 4-page mini magazine on current events. And I remember one of the topics was the federal debt is about to breach $1 trillion for the first time. And not only was that kind of a scary article to read at the time, but there was tons of news coverage. I remember my dad back watching the McNeil-Lehrer report and being concerned about the fact that $1 trillion, and how are we ever going to get out from underneath, or at least how can we change the trend so we can start to change the situation. And I remember my dad at that time said, "Oh, it'll never get that far. The economy and everything's going to just explode, post Jimmy Carter era." And we did see a broadening of the economy, but we also saw a broadening of spending. So, a little bit of a rant, but it's just funny because now, what are we at now? 25 trillion or 26 trillion? It's going to be, I don't know. It's insane. It's hard to imagine ever digging out from under that. And not only that, but when you think about the government spending, where you have, I believe, the number one line item in our spending, isn't that debt service? Or it's very close if it's not. And that's, you can't run your families that way, but apparently we can run our country that way. At any point, my point is that it's going to catch up to us. And I think the value of gold and silver will be further reflected versus the U.S. dollar. And it's only going to keep going up for precious metals. And that value of the dollar is going to continue to plunge. So there are many of you out there that are so much better with charts and knowing where things are headed, and I appreciate all of your commentary. But this is the primary reason why I've been stacking for so long, is the firm belief that it is better to have a tangible asset that will retain its value than notes from the Treasury that will not retain their value. All right, rant over. Let's take a look at this fantastic silver bar, one of my favorite designs. All right, there you have it. This is the 20-ounce Scottsdale silver bar. It's like a big Kit Kat, silver Kit Kat. 20 ounces in the hand feels pretty darn nice, I can tell you that much. Got a few of these, but back in April, when I was looking for anything to buy, there was not a huge supply. I went right to Scottsdale, and yeah, looks like I paid about $380 for this. So, you know, at the time, with silver at $15 an ounce, I was just looking for stuff to be able to buy. One of my favorite pieces. Really like this. But now, I should have looked before I made the video how much they're charging with silver at close to $23 an ounce. But, man, this feels really good in the hand. I love silver bars in general. I love silver that I can handle. And, of course, silver bars fit that bill quite nicely. But something else interesting. So recently I went back. I have all of my assets on a spreadsheet that I can manipulate, especially with the precious metals. I can enter spot prices, and it spits back a figure. And I realized I had not updated that since back when silver was probably in the high $15 an ounce. And so when your stack has accumulated for years and years, and you enter that spot price, and that number that comes back smacks you in the face, it's a pretty good feeling to see where things are at. That was quite the boost to go from $15 an ounce to $22.80 an ounce or whatever it's at, and reflected in all of the pieces that you have. Now, I have some pieces that are premium, and I have some pieces that are generic. I consider this to be generic. But I have everything entered in the spreadsheet as if it is just absolutely at spot price, because I just want to see what the bare minimum value would be for those pieces. And so I do have indicated in there in different tabs the premium pieces, and if for whatever reason my wife or children would need to have to liquidate things, they would know not to just liquidate certain things at spot price, but they should look for ways of extracting that value if they ever have to get to that. So, but I did make a flip just this past week that I'm really excited to talk to you about. I sold two things and I got in my mind, a fantastic profit on both. The first of which was a collector's coin. It's half-ounce gold collector's coin that I picked up a few years ago, and it was one of those direct from the mint kind of things. And it had all of the literature and the box that goes with it and the certificate of authenticity. And I looked back, and when I had purchased it, and I was able to pick that piece up in the high $600 for half-ounce gold. And I just sold it for more than $1,000. So it's fantastic to be able to have that kind of, pull out that amount of equity from a piece like that. And immediately I'm waiting for a pullback, and I want to buy another ounce of gold. So I'm still going to put it right back into gold, although gold prices are high right now. But that's half of the flip. The other half is, if you're familiar with the One Chip Challenge by Pocky, every year they release a limited amount of these, and I'm a fan of those anyway. And so back when I'm on the newsletter, and I had purchased a whole bunch of them, the maximum amount they would let me, 8-1, which was always fun, and then the rest I had sitting because the last time I did it, I was able to sell a bunch of them on eBay. And so when I bought them, they're $5 a piece for one chip, and I just sold them for more than $40 each. So that was pretty great too. Talk about extracting equity, I guess, right? Can you imagine paying $40 for one chip? That's insane. But sold them all, and so I got all of that sitting around waiting to be thrown towards another ounce of gold. So looking forward to that. At any rate, let's give you a couple up close pictures of this shiny piece of silver. How'd that sound? All right, just another little update. Just looking ahead, I've not purchased anything new in the last, I'd say, 7 weeks, 8 weeks. I do have 2 more packages sitting at home that I'm looking to open. One is some more silver, and one is a piece of gold. So looking forward to open those up. It's hard for me to picture buying anything at the prices right now. I am going to wait, I think, a little bit for a pullback. I'm curious what you guys are planning on doing. If you got Federal Reserve notes burning a hole in your pocket and you're looking to get that into metals, right now, for someone that's been stacking as long as I have, I'm not in any rush. I'm going to wait for to see what the prices do. If they continue to go up, fantastic. But I'm not picking up a lot right now. So I may make a trip into my local coin store sometime in the next week or two. I may take some of my more premium pieces and see if the gentleman at the shop will be willing to let me trade up, and maybe take some of my older pieces of silver that I haven't really been collecting a lot in the recent years, and maybe put that towards some other gold. See if that's something that's of interest to the coin shop. But that's it. Little update. It's Big Stack McGee. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll be back at you soon. Take care.